My name is Max Arias, Executive Director, SEIU Local 99. What led to this strike? It's really, let's start by saying who our members are, who the members of Local 99 and LAUSD are. They are the people that make sure that the district operates, that it runs, that the buses are running on time, that the schools are open, that they're clean, that the food is nutritious, that the schools are safe, that all schools are supplied. We represent workers that drive trucks, drive buses, clean schools, cook, take care of the IT needs, support students with special needs, etc., etc. And the people doing that work are mostly women, and they are, in the case here in LAUSD, black and brown women. And for decades and decades, their work has been undervalued. And the LAUSD has been operating by exploiting the work of the classified employees in LAUSD, by understaffing the cleanliness of schools, by understaffing the preparation of meals, by not providing enough support for students with special needs, by cheating, forcing people to work off the clock, et cetera, et cetera. And it's been an oppression for so long that people have had fear, because as individuals, people have been, disciplined, harassed, let go, etc. However, I think it was important that led to the strike, and then this came to a head during COVID in 2020 and 2021, in which it was exposed, how the compensation that the workers that do this work, our members, receive in LAUSD is negligible. It's a compensation that leads to poverty. And these are dedicated workers that have been, not only many of them of the classified employees, were also students that graduated from LAUSD schools. So it is literally what led to the strike. At the end of the day, it's a combination of historic inequities, as well as an exacerbation of those conditions through COVID. Our members were ready to strike even before COVID. They understood that to make a change, they needed to organize and push. And so these are the conditions that led to the strike. It was conditions in which, through the process of our members learning and understanding the reality and how the system and structure is set up, and that it's a racist system and structure, and a classist system and structure, as well as a system and structure that is inequitable with gender. Once they realized that, they started understanding that we needed to do something about it. So it is through that understanding and through the process of educating each other, empowering each other, and organizing with each other that led to a strike at the end of the day. So those were the conditions that our members were facing before the strike. How the members got to the strike, right? How did we, Local 99, how did we get to actually take that action? Well, I think that at the end of the day, through the process I just described, our members understood also. Not only did they understand how the system is inequitable and doesn't work, but they also understood that without their work, schools wouldn't even open. No bus would run, no meal would be served, and school couldn't operate. And that, at the end of the day, is the power. And our members understood their power is their combined labor. Their labor is essential for society to function, so that schools can exist. And understanding that, understanding that, they needed to take an ultimate action and say, if we withhold the labor, you're probably going to value what we do, because we value things when we lose them at the end of the day. And so how did the members get there? How did they take action? They started first a process that's called, we started escalating. That's what we call it in the union jargon. It is a process in which members start understanding their rights, knowing their rights, and through their union creating a strategy to ensure that if the boss is disrespecting their rights, we could start addressing that, so that members feel that they do have rights and that they do have protections and that they're not alone. So we started organizing, our members started organizing school site by school site, doing things such as petitions, filling out petitions with common demands, marching on the principals, stating that what they needed, their demands are just, and that we needed a change in compensation. Not only that, also a change in how the system views us and how they treat our members. And so they started doing that, then started to do bigger actions, such as picketing, started to do bigger, even more broader actions, more massive actions, such as a rally we did on Baldry in December of 2022. And so this, in combination with us being at the table with LAUSD, doing the collective bargaining agreement, in these negotiations, LAUSD ignored every single one of our demands. They didn't even respond. No, they just ignored them. And so through a year of bargaining being ignored, our members got fed up. And we understood that the only way forward was to either strike them or settle. And so we held a strike vote. And 96% of our members voted to strike. And, you know, it was because by then, the strike vote that happened in around February or January of 2023, our members had understood and had been organizing, had been pushing, not only at the table, but in the school sites. And what they got in response was, we don't care. We're not going to work on fixing these inequities. We don't care. Management at LAUSD was basically telling our members, we don't care that students are learning in dirty schools. We don't care that students are not all of them are getting the proper hot meals that they need. We don't care that there's not enough support for special needs students because the district privatized a section of the workforce. And so the district, saying that, our members were clear and understood the message of the district at the table and at their school site, that they simply didn't care. So our members understood by then what their power was, because the district did show fear and that our members might strike, but they didn't do anything about it. So as we took this strike vote, something extraordinarily happened after we took the strike vote. UTLA leadership gave me a call and said, hey, how can we support? At the time, UTLA had been an ally as far as we are labor partners, but they had not shown willingness to actually confront the structural inequities that face their coworkers. But through the actions of the classified, right there, working next to the teachers, supporting the teachers, I think teachers started to become aware more and more about the inequities. And UTLA fights a lot of just fights. They fight for housing. They fight for ensuring that children of parents that don't have enough resources also have access to a quality education. And they realized that the coworkers, the classified employees, were a lot of those parents in LAUSD. They made up the bulk, a lot of these parents in LAUSD that they were fighting for. So when UTLA called and said, how can we support? We started a conversation amongst not only the leadership, but amongst our rank and file members about, are we going to cooperate together? So let's take it slowly. And we held a rally together, a few joint actions together. And then our fight with UTLA, our members' fights and UTLA's fights, combined into one just fight. At the end of the day, we're all district employees. And UTLA showed during that time that they were willing to support our members' struggle in a selfless way. When the teachers joined the classified strike, I'm just going to be frank, our members had already escalated. They were going to strike. The impact was that the teachers understood the schools were going to be closed. And I'm glad that they got on the right side of the equations. But when they joined the strike, our members did feel more empowered, understanding that their struggle was a just struggle. Teachers had already struck before. And so in many instances, they were able to share with our members how they pulled it off, and that you shouldn't be afraid to do it. In addition to teachers, it was also a groundswell of community support. Over 50 parent organizations sent letters to the board saying to meet our members' demands. By then, our messaging, I think the message that we had relayed to the public understood our fight, and parents were understanding that we were fighting to ensure that all students can have clean, safe, supportive schools, and that they can get to school safely with safe transportation and that they can receive all the support they need. And so parents understood that the district was not providing this and that our members were fighting for it. Furthermore, parents were upset to learn the conditions in which our members were working in, how they were being exploited, how they were not being paid, how many of them were excluded from healthcare as well. So our members understood that, and the community understood that, and the community came together to the point where we struck. There was no pushback from parents. Parents were supportive. They were there on the picket lines with our members, so were students, and it really felt that parents, the public in general, were supportive at the end of the day. Personally, the day before the strike, well, the week leading up to the strike, I was feeling confident that our members understood, but always worried. What if they don't all walk out? What if the district tries to retaliate? What if the district starts trying to fire people, etc.? But just interacting with our members as I was during the time, I really did not feel that they were going to be faltering, because we had that massive rally where we announced the strike a week before the strike, and the rally drew about 60,000 people, mostly UTLA members and our members. So that told me, you know what? They're ready. At the end of the day, they understood it is their fight, and they understood the power that they had built. Before the strike, I was dealing a lot of pressure from electeds calling me, telling me that we should talk to the district, but we couldn't talk to the district. We were at impasse, and the district was refusing. The district was telling lies to the media, and Carvalho was telling electeds that I didn't want to talk to him. It's not about me. We had a committee of elected members, rank and file members, that was a bargaining team. That is who the district needed to talk to. They kept calling me to try and appease me and convince me of, and I said, no, we have a mandate. Our members are going to fight. They're fighting for 30% on improvements, and we need to change the relationship of power. It felt like the political establishment in LA and was very confused as to why we wouldn't just go and sit down and see if we can just chum it up and talk it up. That was not what was going to happen, and it's not what happened. And I want to, a lot of what was happening before, for me personally, was that dealing with those folks, ensuring that the field was operating right, that members were ready to go. But I appreciate that Mayor Bass came on board, because her conversation was not one of appeasement. It was one of what you're describing, and she came and met with our bargaining team. And when she left, she said, no, this is not right. This has to stop. I also appreciate Tony Thurman, because he came to support us as well. And so they understood that this was not a situation of appeasement, that our members were ready to go, and that we couldn't stop a movement, because our members have built a movement at that time together with the teachers in UTLA to meet our demands. And so there's no way to just stop a movement. As the strike was unfolding, I mean, I've never been part of such a massive strike, because I think there has not been such a massive education strike in the country until that date. So being there the first day, I remember the first morning, I was heading to the pickup line at the bus yard at 4 a.m. or something like that, at Sun Valley, and I was very nervous to say, what if people are not picketing, because it was raining insanely, like it never rains in LA. It seems like when there's strikes in LA, there's rain. But when I got there, just seeing the amount of people with the energy and understanding the purpose, and seeing all of the coverage that was also unexpected, there was going to be so much media coverage of this, I realized then, yep, our members paralyzed this district. Now the district's going to understand the value of their work, which at the end of the day, that's why they strike, is to improve the conditions for the students, to improve the conditions at the school. The strike for me personally was that went to the rally afterwards in Beaudry. I had always had a dream that we would surround Beaudry, so the board and the superintendent could be a little less snooty and understand, that the power that workers have. And after that, it was really working with our bargaining team, day and night, basically, for the next 3 days and 4 days to see if there was a settlement to be had. But never, ever caving in to understand that we were not going below 30%. And that's what we ended up with, an average of 30% increase for our members. And yet, that's still not enough. That has not even gotten members to the poverty line. So the strike was a flashpoint in time, which achieved a great settlement, but it also helped our members understand and build their power and understand that we have to organize and understand that we won't make change unless we make bold demands and we act on those demands. So the strike was a flashpoint at the end of the day, and it set us up to keep fighting for more and improving, because nobody goes out on strike just to get to the poverty line. So we're not done yet. We're just not done. Well, the agreement that was reached, I am proud of it. I'm very proud of it. It was everything that we reached was something the district had said it was impossible, that they couldn't afford it. That was all not true. Actually, it was an agreement that was historic. Before then, before our strike, you would hear unions demanding 3%, 4%, 5%. After we demanded 30%, we set off a wave. Our members set off a wave in this whole country of higher demands, 30%, 40%, and set off a wave in 2023, that hot labor summer. It is clear that it is our strike, in which UTLA supported us in solidarity, which launched that wave and made workers throughout the country dream and understand that they could also do this. If they have their union, they can also build their power, and that we should not be settling for crumbs. And lessons learned from the strike, well, the biggest lesson I learned is that, at least me personally, we started out with what is a theory of change. I've been here for 9 years at this local. The theory of change, that once our members realize their power and act on it, things are going to start changing. If they don't, we will never, ever see a change. In fact, we will keep going backwards, losing hours, losing jobs, not keeping up with the compensation. So I learned a lesson that the theory actually works. In this theory, which has to do with our power is our combined labor, and we can give it or take it away. And that is our power, has become reality, and it is a thing. I learned that in this strike as well. I also learned the courage and of our members, of Local 99 LAUSD members, in that what they did was courageous. It was 3 days. It was 3 days of not getting paid. It was 3 days of being worried that what if I lose my job. It was just courageous, and I learned their courage, and I learned that it was right to never underestimate them, because I never underestimated our members. I always thought they could do it, and I don't think sometimes they even believe that they could do this. I remember them 30%, we're never going to get that. Well, LAUSD can clearly afford it, so I learned that it is right instinct to trust in the courage of working people when there's a just demand and they have organized in the correct way. Local 99, we've changed after the strike. Right after the strike, we also led on getting a historic settlement for over 40,000 childcare providers in the state of California, in which they got the first ever retirement fund, they got a healthcare fund, they got education fund, 20% increase, and cost of care. I'm mentioning this because the strike dynamized and created an environment of militancy for all workers, especially the ones here in California, that led to childcare providers being inspired and also taking militant action. And so after that, our local has changed. Our members now understand that district, how to fight the district. That was more apparent right after our strike, in which the district sneakily started trying to cut the hours of our members, which they do all the time in a massive way. And our members understood how to come together. We organized, protested, and really even took over the boardroom. And we are a different local because our members understand their power. The legacy of the strike for Local 9 members is what I just said. They understand their power. And it is important for this legacy to continue and not be forgotten. It is why it's important for us to do something we don't normally do, which is record our history. This is living history. This was a historic event, and it's important to record it, remember it, and teach it to other generations. And this is living history because it hasn't stopped. The strike was, again, the beginning. We are again embarked right now, as I speak, in another process of another round of negotiations. It's the same blueprint. The district are ignoring our members. Our members are not going to put up with it. So we will continue to work, and we are working closely with UTLA, and we are ready to support their demands as well. So I just want to send the future, if you're a future member of SEU Local 99 and you're listening to this, remember one thing. It is the combined collective courage of individuals such as yourself that can bring about change. And to do that, you need to organize, you need to have clear demands, understand your power, take action in a fearless way. One person is not going to achieve it. It takes all of you. Don't forget, one thing I want to tell you. Remember, when something is going bad at your job and you are being harassed, you're losing hours, etc., don't forget who's doing that to you. It is LAUSD. And don't forget, the only entity fighting for you is you and your coworkers joined in our union, SEU Local 99. So stay strong, and when we fight, we win.